Hey, we're here. Talk some precons, man. Short little stream. Nothing too crazy. Let's talk about these precons. Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up picking up one of these. I just don't know which one yet. And we'll have to figure all that out when we get there. But definitely getting picked up for sure. I hate YouTube. Um, like send data. Why hasn't it sent? I hate this dashboard. I hate the because I'm actually live and first, boom, channel's now live. So why is it not popping up? Hmm. I'm confused. I'm literally live right now. Okay. Let's go in here. We're watching confused. I don't mind. All right, welcome everybody, man. It's, late night stream. Really not doing too much. Need to go over these precons, man. Trying to decide which one I want to get. Ended up reserving a box of Lorwyn. Looked at some of the cards and just said, forget it. We'll choose what we want to get. We'll at least buy a box. Precons, man. I've been peeping some videos about the precons, and I'm honestly a little torn on which one to get. So kind of gonna scour through the list and see what exactly uh which one that I would exactly probably go with. I think I've looked more into Ashling. I also don't really like, I don't think I like how it plays, but it is just such value just being able to make, elementals having convoke. I mean, 4 mana is like nothing, right? And straight out of the box, like I had some good cards and it got some good reprints. Avengers in the card, which I already have a copy of. It net you a lot of plans. Being in progress, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of out of my 5 color wheel. Just looking at some of the cards that I can just see just off the jump, that would be good. Reprinting endurance is always good. I don't have a copy of endurance, so that would definitely be big to get. Mole Drifter is gonna be good in here. I think the deck is gonna be good. The biggest thing that I'm worried about buying this deck is like how much can you upgrade it? Because it's it's a tribal deck. So it's like, what can you do? Green Warden of Barasa's in here. It's good. Savala's in here. Then you got the alternate commander, Massive Mysteries. You really look at that. First strike vigilance trample. Again, if comment on your turn, the target element you control gains myriad until end of turn. Now this one is actually cool. I think Ashling is gonna be more consistent, of course, I feel. But Massive Mysteries actually isn't too bad. But honestly, what this deck feels like when I think about this is you would take a lot of the shell out of here, launching the legendary creature shell, and you probably could just take Joda, make him your commander, make this guy your like hidden commander in the deck, and you know, I don't know. There's a lot of things. I think honestly, I like Massive Mysteries more. Yeah, it's a 5 for 5 first strike vigilance trample, which is good. Um, yeah, beginning comment on your turn, get mirrored for an elemental. So you can get good crazy value off of like Risen Reeve. Um get value off of Subterfuge, which is cool. ETB target creature gains flying. This creature does come in and still play draw that many cards until in a turn, which I think would be really good with something like this. All these would enter, but they would all die, but they would enter as well. And it would do damage to target using the number of elementals you control, which would be good damage. I don't know. I don't know. This could be good. I didn't know they Yarok was in here either. Permanent that causes trigger ability to permanently control the trigger. That ability triggers additional time. So you get 2 instants of Myriad with Yarok out with Mask of Mysteries, which can be kind of good. Let's say we curve Massive Mysteries, Yarok, and Risen Reef, and just flood the board with lands on top of having like Omnaps out and things like that. Might be pretty decent. Blast that, cultivate, disability. Basically all the stuff that you're gonna have. Shatter the Sky. What is the card? Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or less draws a card to destroy all creatures. 4 greater, excuse me. And how it looks like this. A lot of the elementals, well, a good piece of the elementals are less than 4. So I guess it would depend on how you build this. Get the most value out of Shadow of the Sky. Grip Swap, Path, Rally Shift, Turn the Wild Speaker. Got your Chromatic Lantern in, Timeless Lotus. Comes in tap, but you add Wooburg when you tap it, which of course that goes hand in hand with Ashland. Honestly, I'm just not. I don't think I'm super interested in this list. It's like, and all I've been hearing about the land packages, it's complete booty. We're not worrying about that. Biggest thing is just like me trying to figure out, is Ashling my playstyle? Because elemental spells from your hand have evoked. When you sacrifice a non-token elemental, create a token that's a copy of it. Then the token gains haste in a turn. In the next instep, sack it unless you pay Wooburg. And it's like, as soon as it comes in, like you're gonna just be running value elementals. Avengers in the car. Risen Reef. Subterfuge. Um Slither Muse. When this creature leaves the battlefield, choose an opponent. If that player has more cards in hand than you, draw cards equal to the difference. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Freak Ball. Very niche. This is a non-artifact, non-black creature. Um, I just don't know. I don't know what this does, like value wise, because it's honestly like the biggest thing I have to. So the good thing about this, okay, so it's not as bad because you don't have to cast for the evokes off, but it's like some of these ones like belonging. You're gonna want to cast for its evoke, right? Because it's like, get a copy, create 3/1 shapelins, you know. I just I don't see, and it's maybe just me. I don't see where this deck is like good. And of course, it's a precon. It doesn't have to be crazy, but I don't see where it's like, yo, I need to pick this up. Because if they were like super solid, like reprints in here, like this card right here, Springleaf Parade, is pretty cool because you can honestly just play it for 2 green and then still have your creatures be able to tap for mana, which is fine. But it's like, other than that, in my eyes, it feels really mid. Versus creatures, and of course, these are things like you can upgrade the lands. Some of these enchantments can just come out, and kind of, you know, uh, run some stuff for there. But you'd run things like a collection of Jatari, was it Kindred Discovery, things like that. So you can you can juice the deck up, but just out the box, it's like I feel like you would scrap a lot of this stuff. What we can do though, we can run a little playtest though real quick and see what it plays like. But yeah, let's run a playtest real quick. See what we're looking like. Because maybe it's just us, right? If I remember these keys. The draw card. Mm. Oh, let's see. It's been a while. It's been a while. Mm. Draw. Land out for turn. Blah blah blah. Cool. Next turn. Draw. Comes in tapped. Or we can go island. What we could do, we can island here. We could go fertile ground as one adds an additional 1 mana of any color. So we could go rock or fertile ground. I feel like we just go ahead and fertile ground and we'll put it on our island. Just be able to tap. And then we can bring Ashling out if we want to. We want to just go ahead and do that. Or we can go ahead and just run play land. I think what we'll do, we'll play this land tapped. Right, so we're at 3 mana. So we got a choice. We can honestly but what we could do here, right? If for any color, gonna tap for blue and it's gonna let's add a red. Red to the pool, leave the red floating in the pool. We'll cast Farewell Stone. And then we'll use that 1 red that's remaining. We'll go ahead and cast the Smoke Bridge. Oh, for a second. So cast this Braider. Do a pass turn again. That pushes turn 4. Now the spot that we're in, it's like we have 5 mana to access, right? The biggest thing is what we would want to do, and we still have 2 mana in the combination. So we can cast elemental spells. So this can bring our commander out. But it's for any combination. Um, so what would we want to do here? One. That's gonna tap for 3 total with the red. We're gonna bring out Ashling. And it gives all our elementals evoke. I think what we do here, because we have access to 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. We can go ahead. Do we evoke this guy? So the biggest thing we'd have to be trying to figure out really, when is it best to evoke, right? When is it best to go ahead and evoke? Do we evoke? I don't know. That's the biggest thing to figure out. So we can go ahead honestly and we can evoke for blue in here. We're gonna go ahead and evoke Mole Drifter, draws 2 cards. Draw 2. Right. It's gonna go to the graveyard to have a hotkey. Here you go. Graveyard. And create another copy. Gains haste to end a turn. So actually we draw 4 cards. Because this is a copy. Let's see if we can make a token copy real quick. It's a token. We'd swing for 2. And then at end step, what's that called? Again, at the next end step, sacrifice and bless. We play Wooburg. We go ahead and play land for turn. We will call red. What would be the color here? Hit and the counter. Add a counter to it. We'll say red. And then we can go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Instead, we'll go ahead and just go to the graveyard and do that. Untap. And it's tapped. Go name blue. Man, we got to work with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total. Turn 5. The thing is to try to figure out, like, is how are we winning? Like, do we want it to is this deck punchy? That's what we're trying to figure out. Is it punchy? I think seeing Muldrith or Muldrother in our hand honestly kind of sucks, right? Because we only get a vote cost from our hand. And we have to cast the stuff from Muldrother, which is kind of so what we would go ahead and do, and this is like the hardest part to figure out, is when to cast stuff with evoke. Do we cast? It's tough. It's tough. I think we go ahead and green, blue, and here we're gonna play Risen Reef. And then we're going to get value from it when this creature another element you control enters. You get top card your library if it's a land, you put it in the battlefield, tap. If not, put it to your hand. So it entered. We're gonna look at the top. Oh no, I don't want. That's a creature. So you're able to do it in the hand anyway. Cool. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 mana to use, so we can evoke something big out of our hand. And that evoke is 2. I don't know. I just don't see where this like gets out of control. And maybe it could be like the land base. It could be just maybe because I don't have it, the cards like physically in my hand to like kind of cycle through my thoughts with everything. But I don't know. I'm not really sold on the elements. Outside of like I feel like a lot of this stuff you can just pick up on your own. Um, Good reprints that you can get probably, of course, Fury, good Green Warden, Marisu. What is this guy? Vicious Trample Haste for Wooburg. Give me a play target elemental card from your graveyard without paying this cost. So, depends on what you get in the graveyard, you can definitely get some value out of that. Even some of the ones that maybe cost more than, you know, Wooburg, you can still just get value. Muldrifter, of course, is really good. Yarok is good. Muldrotha is good. Master Mysteries, I feel like someone's gonna test that and it might do some things. It might surprise us. But honestly, everything else in the precon seems kind of just, it's there. Soul Ring looks cool, by the way. Springleaf Parade looks pretty dope. But other than that, I'm honestly not like hell bent on like, yo, I have to get this precon because, you know, outside of like maybe the basics, because this basic planes looks pretty cool. The mountain looks cool. Island looks cool. I'd want those in in foil. So not too sold on that one. And then we have the Blight Curse deck, which has Auntie Wool. Got my auntie in there running the show. Whenever one or more counters are put into a creature, draw a card if you control that creature. If you don't, its controller loses 1 life. So the thing I like with this is the amount of cards that you might like really get in the drawing. Because it says one or more counters on a creature, draw a card. So 3 creatures, it doesn't matter how many 1/1 counters on them. It just matters how many creatures you're putting 1/1 counters on. So let's say you have 3 of your creatures, you put a 1/1 counter on each one of them, you draw 3 cards, right? And then the same goes for your opponent. If they have 3 different creatures, no matter how many, no matter the amount of 1/1 counters on it, they'll each lose life for each creature. So that could be 3 life. That could be a good little energy drain. But let's go through this precon real quick. Solid Planeswalker package, really like the Death Wielder. The +2 is pretty good. Put a 1/1 counter on the 1 target creature. So you can put a -1 counter on one of your creatures and draw you a card. You can't really beat that, right? Vraska didn't like her too much. 0 cost, you draw a card and lose a life, and then you proliferate, which you can choose whatever you proliferate, which is fine. You're gonna proliferate 1/1 counters. But which goes back to this too. Put 1/1 counter on one of your creatures, you draw a card, play Vraska, you 0, proliferate, put another 1/1 counter on it, you draw another card. I feel like this deck's gonna draw a lot of cards. Other cards in here that I do recognize, like Archfiend Ifnir is gonna be pretty cool in here. Cycle discard another card, put a 1/1 counter on each creature your opponent controls. Now let's say your opponent has, we'll pick a big number. We'll go with 10. At 10 1/1s, put a 1/1 counter on each one of those creatures. They lose 10 life. That's a fourth of their starting life total. Just gone. Really can't beat that. Carnifex Demon enters with 2 1/1 counters on it. Remove a 1/1 counter from this creature, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature. Now, this might sound like a lot of mana. It's called 6 for 6/6 with flying and ends with 2 1/1 counters on it. But the kicker is you can pay a singular black, and remove a 1/1 counter from this guy. And then put a 1/1 counter on each other creature. So you got 3 opponents, you got creatures on the board, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of drain going on. Hot. Works very well with Channeler Initiate, because it enters with 3 1/1 counters on, you know, Put 3 1 counters target creature you control, which is cool, right? Chances are you're gonna put those counters on her. She's not gonna swing for any damage, but you can tap it or remove a 1 1 counter from it, so you can add a mana of any color. Biggest thing is what we would have to. So this works. This works, but Auntie, I'm pretty sure, whenever it enters, you put the 1 1 counters on target creature you control. So it enters first, right? It resolves. Let's say you put the 3 1 1 counters on her. It draws you a card. Or you put it on anything else. It draws you a card. Doesn't really matter. But you're gonna want the 1 1 counters on her solely because you do want to use her as a rock, a mana rock. I mean, just removing a 1 1 counter on her and, you know, getting that mana. Go to Druid, put a 1 1 counter on this creature, untap this creature. Now, there's a lot going on with this. There's a lot going on with this. There's a lot going on with this. We're unpacking a lot here. And from what I see, there's a lot going on with this. So, hear me out. Go to Druid, task for green. Put a 1 1 counter on this creature, right? It doesn't say when. It doesn't say how. It just says, yo, put a 1 1 counter on it. Untap this creature. You tap her for green, right? And then you put a 1 1 counter on her. You draw a card, right? Of course, if you have something that's going to remove a 1 1 counter from her, right? And that's the biggest thing we had to find. Removing a 1 1 counter from her would be nice too. Because if you have a consistent way to remove that 1 1 counter you're putting on her over and over, she taps for infinite green. You can keep putting a counter on her, draw a card. It's it's kind of cheeky. Dread Tiller, when this creature enters, put a 1 1 counter on target creature. Whenever a creature with a 1 1 counter on it dies, you put a land from your hand or grave onto the battlefield tapped. So you know there's gonna be a little engine that you can slide. You could put a Amulet of Vigor. Tiller engine would be pretty cool in this list as well. Just solely because, hey, you know, creature dies, and it doesn't say one of your creatures. It's a creature, period. Whenever a creature with a 1 1 counter on it dies, your creature, your 3 opponents' creatures, you can get a land from your hand or your graveyard, put a battlefield tapped. Cheeky. Pretty cheeky. Let's go through the next. Dusk Urchins. When this creature attacks or blocks, put a 1 1 counter on it. When this creature dies, draw a card for each 1 1 counter on it. So this might be one of those creatures that you want to put as many 1 1 counters on as you can, as quick as you can, just to get value. Because think about it, when it attacks, put a 1 1 counter on it. You draw a card because Auntie's out, right? Whenever it dies, draw a card for each 1 1 counter on it. So in a cycle of this card, you're gonna draw you 3 cards from Auntie ability. And then as soon as that last 1 1 counter gets put on and it dies, you're going to draw a card for each 1 1 counter from it. So potentially you're going to draw at least 6 cards off this. There's going to be some type of manipulation that you can abuse this card. It's a 3 cost for a 4/3. And you can potentially, you're going to net at least 6 cards with Auntie being out and this card having its own thing whenever it dies. So definitely would keep this in the list. Evolution Sage, landfall, proliferate. 3 or 4. Whenever it enters, create a number of 1 1. Green sapling, the creature tokens with number of counters among creature targets. Target player controls. Doesn't have to be you. But it's cool. Double the number of each kind of counter on target creature. So, biggest thing we really like about this is that we're gonna kind of use this as like a bomb when a lot of counters are going on. You got a lot of -1, -1 counters on target creatures. that equal to the number of counters among target creatures your opponent control. Target player control. You can target yourself with this. So you got 20 creatures with 21 counters on it. You're gonna make that many saplings, and then you can do some cheeky things to put a 1 more counter on all your saplings. That's where this comes in handy. Carnifex, just removing a 1 more counter from it. The -1/-1 counter on each other creature. You got 20 of these guys out. You neg them all. You draw your 20 cards. And then you got abilities like Dreadtiller, whenever a creature. So say you got 10 lands in the yard, 20 of your tokens die. Then you have let's bring all these lands back. But then wait, let's say you have an Amulet of Vigor out or a Tiller Engine, they all come in untapped. From what I'm seeing already, I'm only halfway through, not even halfway through the creatures. It's like this can this can do something. Glissa, Sunslayer, 3/3, first strike, death touch. Whenever it deals combat damage to player, choose one, draw a card, lose life, destroy target enchantment, or remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. Now, this is where things can get a little spooky. Removing some counters for some things, right? We can wait till this gets to 2, get some value off it with your commander out, draw you at least 2 cards, and then you can swing it combat damage in with Glissa, remove those counters from just Urchin, and keep rinsing and repeating, just getting card value. Remember Scorpion God, got printed him whenever creature with a 1 more counter on it dies, draw a card. Then you can pay 1 and Rakdos, put a 1 more counter on another target creature. This can be done at any time. And it just value. Give you something to do with your mana. Midnight Banshee has Wither, beginning of upkeep, put a 1 more counter on each non-black creature. So those tokens of yours, they all get 1 more counters on it. You're going to draw cards off of them. Going to be good eats. Reaper King, the Reaper King no more. Whenever it ends, put a -1/-1 counter on each of the 2 target creatures. Whenever creature an opponent controls with a -1/-1 counter on it dies, you may put that card in the battlefield under your control. Do this once each. I'm just saying, there's going to be a lot of ways to manipulate these net counters to get some stuff to die and all that stuff. Creature wise, I don't even have to look through here. I can already tell what it wants to do. It's gonna be a lot of little things to track. I'm definitely interested to see how it's going to work. Next, we got our sorceries. Put 1, 2, or 3 target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. Each of them enters with an additional 1/1 count, -1/-1 counter on them. So this is a 6 cost reanimate for 3 creatures, 1, 2, or 3 creatures from graveyards, not just yours, for 6. And to get -1/-1 counters, of course, man is gonna make sure you draw 3 cards. Once you put those counters on them, you just draw cards. It's kind of crazy. Can't even lie. Black Sun Zenith. The X -1/-1 counters on each creature, shuffle it back into your deck. Now, play it very safe. What I would probably do, I'm gonna sit this at like, I'm gonna Black Sun for maybe like 3. I'm trying to knock a lot of little things, a lot of tokens off the board. The Black Sun Zenith, you might even have to cast it for a lot, because chances are you're gonna want to get rid of like 1/1s and things that you have. Zombies that you can make from Brave Titan. And listen, that's a lot of cards that can be drawn. That's a lot of potential life that is that can be lost for your opponent, especially if they have a lot of creatures they got wide, they couldn't really get through and attack and things like that. Once those -1/-1 counters stick to their creatures on the board, it's just gonna drain them from Monty. Burning Curiosity, Arctic Reunion, Painful Truths, Persist. That's a good card to have in here. Eventide Shadow. Remove any number of counters from among permanents you control. Among permanents on the battlefield, you draw cards and lose life equal to the number of counters removed this way. A gift and a curse. Depends on how far you want to go, right? Don't know if this would make the cut, but it could be something that we try. Assassin's Trophy, Cathartic Pyre, Fire Covenant, X Life, X damage to the number of target creatures. PG5 terminate, blah blah blah. Chamil being a reprinter here is pretty solid. Just make sure your spells can't be countered and you get to discover. Nothing wrong with that. Contagion class. When it ends, put a -1 counter on it, and then you can proliferate if you tap it for 4. It's only 2 costs. Wickersmith's Tools. Whenever 1 or more -1 counters are put on a creature, put a charge counter on it. Tap it to add a mana of any color, and you can tap 5 and sack it. Sacrifice this artifact, create X. Tap 2 colorless Scarecrow artifact creature goes with X is the one charge counters on it. Now, yeah, we might could do some things with this. I don't think this is quite strong enough because I think the thing we would focus on really is making this into a mana rock. And a 3-cost mana rock is like, but you never know. Binding of the Old Gods was a reprint. Blowfly Infestation. Whenever a creature dies, if it had -1 counters on it, put a -1 counter on target creature. Little cheeky value. If it died with a -1, put a -1 on something. Draw your card. Cool. Everlasting Torment. Players can't gain life. Damage can't be prevented. Oh my god. All damage is dealt as though its source had wither. Deals the damage in the form of 1/1 counters. Ooh. And it's all damage, not just yours. So it's wow. That's wow. That's kind of cool. I like that. Flourishing defensive whenever -1 counter is put on a creature, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior that you're going to use to probably just put a net counter on anyway. Enjoy your card. Grave Renovations. Whenever this enters, you become a monarch. Begin your end step. If you're the monarch, return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever creature control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain life. It's another Bastion's Remembrance that we have, and then the land package as well. What did they give us? On the cemetery, didn't give us anything. Rubon Craig. Blah blah blah. Out of the two, I think we would lean more towards this one. There's a lot of things that they can do, a lot of routes that they can go. You kind of control the pace on which you put net counters on things. Just depends on how the board state gets for you and your opponents. And of course, having ways to get rid of those counters is always good. So I think a card that might be good on here is and I could be thinking wrong. The Ozolith. Ozolith. So might not be as high as it was. Definitely was high. Oh, never mind. It's $52. The creature control leaves the battlefield. If it had counters on it, put those counters on the Ozolith. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, if the Ozolith has counters, you may move all counters from the Ozolith to target creature. Now, the biggest thing what we would have to figure out with a card like the Ozolith is if move counts is the same. Let's see how it reads. When one or more counters are put onto a creature. I wonder if does it count from move? If it had counters on you, you may move all counters from the Ozolith onto target creature. I wonder if move would still count as put. Because if so, you could just pull up net counters and just start melting creatures off the board. But also, paired with the Reaper King, if the creature dies and they lose a life, move all the net counters over to it. Then you could just Reaper King and get that creature back. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check a ruling on the Ozlith. The Ozlith with old anti-Ul. I don't know. I think it might be good. Reaper King is actually pretty sneaky too. Of course, you still have to run the same neg one package. All you need is one neg counter on it. And it comes back in the battlefield on your. Wish there were like some good ways to like flicker the Reaper King, the Reaper. So like a Conjurer's Closet, pretty cool. Just to flick it and just start putting 1/1 counters on all your opponent's creatures, and then do some type of mass board wipe or something like that. Something that can just trickle their guys off the board and just take all their creatures. Oh man. See, I like stuff like that. I like that. I think out of the two, this is gonna be the way that I lean. Especially having a reprint like Black Sun Zenith in here. Hmm. I think this is the deck. This is the one, like if you wanted to choose something that feels like honestly strong and consistent, you would choose this, but it's gonna be more things that you have to worry about keeping track of, like neg counters, spreading them across the board, how to spread them, when to spread them, when to put them on your stuff, when to put them on your opponent's stuff, and things like that. I think this is like is like the builder's deck. Like you want to play this, right? Um, the Ashling deck is 5 colors. It's cool. It's tribal. But honestly, to me, and maybe it's just my play style, it's like, nah, it's missing something for me. It's I don't know. I don't know. And it's like overall, like card quality. I think Auntie Ul has the better card quality when it comes to the cards in the list. Even seeing Planeswalkers like Living on the Death Welder, I've never seen him before. He might be a new print. Um, details. Has he ever been printed before? Nope. This her. Oh, she was printed in Omnicat. Huh. So she's been this her second reprint, which is cool. And also, this stuff like Devoted Druid in here, I think it's gonna be super powerful. Definitely gonna be one of the super powerful pieces that we have in here. Red Tiller, I feel is gonna be really sneaky, right? Because it has a big butt, has a 4 butt, and when it enters, put a -1 counter on a target creature, just period. And then whenever a creature with a 1/1 counter on it dies, you may put a land. That being so broad to be like, yo, it doesn't matter what creature it is or whose it is. If it has a -1 counter on it and it dies, I get a land from my hand or my graveyard. Back to the battlefield. I don't know. I feel like honestly, you might can break Jund more. Like with what she's doing. I don't know. I feel like there's ways to break this. So you could honestly go. I think you can go more low to the ground with this deck and just run a whole bunch of like 1/1s and things like that, just solely to have to like neg off the table. And then you'd run enchantments like you'd run like Grave Pact and just oh my god, it would just be a control deck. Let your opponents build their boards up, get all your little 1/1s out, neg them all off the board. This thing you have 5, you neg 5 of them off the board. You draw you 5 cards. Each of your opponents got to sack 5 creatures. 5, bruh. I don't know. I think out of the two, this one has to be the one that's like, all right, let's go ahead and build some stuff. But then on top of that, having a card out like Scorpion God, any of those creatures died, you draw a card. So you would have drawn your 5 from your commander being out because it's per creature, and then the Scorpion God, you draw 5 from that. It's like, yo, all you seeing is just like straight gas from your hand. Only thing you're missing, you have to find a way to gain some life. But then you have stuff like where the enchantment go, grave venerations, which honestly you would just put Bastion's Remembrance in here, um, and just drain the table off. But I think this is the deck that like it breaks something. It's gonna break something. Even this, you gotta find a way to like make infinite tokens because Blowfly Infestation just goes nuts. Creature dies if it had a 1/1 counter on it, which you're gonna do. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. The loop repeats. Say you're just running 1/1s like these little saplings that you can make from Ferrophore, or even if you run Avenger Zendikar in here, just like yeah, there's 0/1s. Neg 1, it dies, you draw a card, put another neg on it, it dies, you draw a card, and you just go through the loop. This is a loop. Wait a minute. Oh my god. Whenever one or more 1/1 counters are put into a creature, create the snake. You would That's it. It's literally it's an infinite, it's a trigger. Oh my god. You just gotta start the loop. That's crazy. All you need is a 1/1 token. Give us at least 2 1/1 tokens. You start the loop, your net counter, it dies, it triggers Blowfly, it'll die, it'll draw you a card, bashing the trigger, you gain a life, your opponent loses a life, you make a snake form, Cleopatra. Um Yo, yeah, I think it's a precon we gotta go with. I think it's gonna be the one that we end up copying. Of course, I have my booster box to open tomorrow. I mean, Friday. But this is gonna be the one that we go with. I think we're sold on Auntie Ul, and I don't know, man. She might be kind of sneaky. Ooh, even Grim Poppet is pretty cool. Comes in with 3 neg 1 counters, move a neg 1 counter from it, put a neg 1 counter on another target creature. Yo, it's oh yeah, you can just go infinite here. You can legit go infinite in this deck. Yep, you can go infinite. Wow, wow. Well, there you have it. You can go infinite. You can go infinite in this precon. In the precon. Imagine going infinite in this precon. That's it. That's it. Oh man, wait. Oh my god, it's so good. As soon as you put the neg 1 counter on the creature, it makes the snake. When the 1/1 dies, it puts a -1 counter on that creature. As soon as that -1 counter is put on that creature, a patcher makes another snake so that it can die and put a -1 counter on it just to make another snake. It's it's so easy. It's so easy. I feel honestly, if you really wanted to, you probably can just change the land package and run this how it is and probably get some decent mileage out of it. It's crazy. Yo, they did good with this. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be the one we cop for sure. But I figure out with Jun being one of my favorite 3 color combinations, I have to find a way to break this. How do we break this? Is the thing. Huh. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the precons real quick. I think out of the two, I think Ashling is probably cool. It's probably a little more explosive out the box. But I think consistency wise, I think it's this one. And it has an infinite in it off the jump out the box. Sleeve it up, you draw your cards, play your lands, and like, oh wait, I got an infinite in my hand. Let me go ahead and make that happen. Huh. Yep. That's what we're going with. But I appreciate anyone that popped in and hung out while we were here. I know there's nothing really crazy going on, but yeah, I think we found the precon. I think we found it. And yeah. I appreciate everyone watching. Appreciate everyone coming through. Yeah, Hapatra just is crazy in here. All you need is put a 1/1 counter on a creature. That's it. 1/1 counter on a creature to make you a snake. Just to put a -1 counter on that creature. Yo, this is wild behavior. This is wild. This literally goes off from Dread Tiller. You just put a -1 counter on any creature, make a snake, has Dread Tiller, put a 1 more counter on it, and then it just starts while we have Bloatfly out. This card's gonna be a star. It's gonna stay at this price probably, if not go up. You did good. You did good. But anyway, I appreciate everyone coming through. Just a little short, little late night. Just wanted to kind of dabble and talk about these 2 precons that are being printed. But yeah, Auntie is definitely getting got for sure. Definitely gonna be some tweaks to the deck. The land base is atrocious. It has to go. But yeah, appreciate everyone coming through, and I will see you guys in the next video. Toph is coming soon. The cloud deck list is still coming. I just been busy. We'll make it happen, and I'll